Hello again, my users, and welcome to another video on my progress with my AutoRigging script right here. And as you can see, it is quite different than it was. Mainly that now, instead of having one option for both arms, you have an option for each set of arms individually. So if I want two upper arm bones here and two forearm bones on this one, no left hand on this one, and I give it, say, 0 index finger segments, 1 middle finger segment, 4 ring fingers, and 5 thumb segments, then I can do that. So I can add the segments per finger, which is pretty nice too. Before it was just something kind of like this wing setup that I currently have going here. So I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to go and hit left hand. And as usual, if I say pose this character like so, give it a little pose like that, and if I rotate that back, or not rotate, move it back, then I can hit generate pre-rig again. It's going to ask me if I want to save the current pose. I'm going to say yes, of course I do, because I don't want all that work to go to waste, like I did that much work. And let's add 2 more there, take away those bones, and you can see it again. Pretty cool. So now I can do this. I can rotate this out, and I can rotate this. Oops, sorry, wrong control. Rotate this over like that. Do that. Boom. Okay. Now, let's look down here. I can obviously do this. Move this here. The alignment or tools on the bone orientations for the feet are now way better, as I can now, if I wanted to, rotate this and it'll align perfectly. Now, in addition to that, I've also added toes. Yes, so now your characters can be barefoot. Or, if you want, let's say I want to give him one shoe, and on the left leg I don't want to give him a shoe or even a foot. So I'm kind of mean like that. So let's do that. I'm going to press yes. And look at that, I took away his foot. I'm a mean person. So took away his foot on this leg, and I've given him a shoe setup on this leg. So if you want to optimize your scene like that, you can. Let's go back. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to really go kind of crazy with this character setup. But first, let's go over a couple of the new things that I'm going to do with the bone swap and the add controls. Bone swap, I can obviously add in the toes in there as well, and they align correctly just as the legs and the arms do. So I can move these here, I can move these here, and I can move these this way. There we go. And if I add controls, I can name my characters. So not only will it have a name, but the character will be completely independent of this setup here, which is a pretty big deal. So number of bones, 95, number of bone ends, 26, number of IK joints, 23, just in case you want to keep track if you're in a gaming industry and you have a limit. Set these up. There we go. The equations for this allow the double joint on the arms and legs to move with the controller accurately. If I rotate my wrists, say, about 90 degrees here, what you'll notice is that the rotation of this bone here will be 45, and the rotation of this one here will be 22. So a fourth, or a half and a quarter of the rotation, depending on how far down the line you go. And you can add up to 3 of those bones if you want. Here we got the same thing going on. So if I do this, there we go. Pretty cool. So let's take this character. I'm going to move him to the side. So because I named that character, it's completely separate from this setup. And now I can make a whole new character while this one's in the scene, which was not something I could do with the previous iteration of this script. So I'm going to bring back this guy's toes here, and I'm going to make a dragon. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to make a dragon character. So I'm going to maybe take away a couple of these finger segments here and a couple of the toe segments as well. And let's take away those, and let's take away those, and let's give this guy 3. Okay, I could give him 5, but don't want to do that because I don't want the... I mean, technically a dragon's a freak of nature, but 5 segments is way freaky. So let's generate that setup. There we go. We see it adapted and customized. Now I can also add a bat thumb and 2 bat wings. So I can add the number of segments if I want. So I can press yes. And it uses the same kind of script as the fingers and the toes, allowing me to add up to 5 segments for each finger and pick the number of fingers that I actually want. So if I only want 2, there we go. If I take away bat thumb, then it's going to do this. There we go. Okay, I can update it to about, let's update it to 4. I'll bring it all back in a sec. I just want to show how customizable it is. There we are. Very, very cool. So I'm going to bring that back. Let's get the outliner out of the way. It's kind of hard because of the size of this thing, but I had to make it kind of large. I'll fix that in future iterations rather. So I promised you guys a dragon. Now, what I want to show with this is right now, if I move this out of the way, if I rotate the spine, it's going to rotate in the x-axis, and all these controls are going to rotate the same way. Well, it's actually true. No matter where you put this character, I can actually put this character like this if I wanted to, and it would do the same. But in this instance, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do a simple transition to a quadrupedal character. So I'm going to move this down. I'm going to change it in a second so you can see how much I can pose this character without having too much difficulty in adjusting its settings. So I'm going to set that up the way I want. I'm going to rotate this around like so. Now if I hit both on this button, it's going to do that. I can grab all the finger segments here. I can rotate them up or down like that. Boom. And let me see here. I'm going to bring that down just a bit so it's touching the ground. There we go. Boom. Alright, let's move on. Now I can move this over. I can rotate both the upper and lower part if I want to. Let's bring out that knee. Scrunch this in if I want. Bring out further, and furthermore, since it is a dragon and they have this kind of elongated foot, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to set this all up here so I can elongate this. So the nice thing about this script is no matter what type of character you have, be it a bipedal or quadrupedal character, you can set this up and it will create the bones for that character. So let's do that. I'm going to move that over and it's going to orient correctly. Let's hit both. It's going to update on the other side. Hit this. It's going to update on this side. If I hit this, it's going to update on the other side. And hey, guess what happens if I hit this? It's going to do the same thing, update on the other side, which is awesome. I love it. Okay, so we got two more things really, which is the spine and the fingers here, or the wings rather. So I said that I wanted bat thumb, 3 segments. Right now this has 4 fingers, 5 segments on each, and no bat thumb, so I can just hit, do you want to save current pose? Yes, it's going to save that current pose, and it's going to bring all of that back. Yes. So let's grab those. I'm going to bring this down. I'm going to rotate this over. I'm going to bring this over. I'm going to rotate this in. There we go. There we go. Alright, so I can hit both of those. I can rotate this. I can move this over here. If if I really want to. Boom. And dragons are nothing without a tail, right? So let's give him a tail. I'll give him 10 tail segments. Hit yes. Bada boom. And let's rotate it up, up and down. Why not? And you know what? Just because I'm extra, cheeky today. Cheeky, that's not a word I use often. So just because of that, I'm going to stretch this out just a bit more. And let's move the spine a little bit. Okay, so our test is to see if all of our segments rotate the exact same way. So these are going to use the same exact equations regardless of its position. And it's going to use the same type of orientation. So let's see how we did. If I hit bone swap, boom, everything works correctly. If I rotate this, let's rotate that. It's going to rotate in the X, just like predicted. Excellent. So if I hit add control and call it dragon, boom. Dragon bones 215, 54, and 57. There's our controls so far. There's our finger controls. There's our feet controls and its setup, which is awesome. And our character is complete. And now I can move this over and make another one if I wanted to. So there you have it. I have spent a long time on this script, and it is really coming together, I think. It's made vast improvements in just the past few weeks, so I can't wait to work on this more. Stay tuned for more updates from me, and this is Cody Wilcoxon signing off. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at cwilcoxon117@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.